Welcome back and thank you for being with us. This is Khalil Hashim with US Arab Radio. I would like to thank Dr. Shama for being with us this morning and for talking about IVF and the executive order that President Trump has issued in regard to IVF rather, that's in vitro fertilization. We want to thank him for being with us this morning. We're going to be moving now to a different topic. Today, this is the first, almost the first week of Ramadan. Ramadan started last Saturday, and our community is very unique in a way that it includes a lot of energetic individuals who do great work to serve the community. And with us this morning, an example of this diligent work and serving the community and activist, we have with us, we have community activist and public speaker, Hussein Nashid. Good morning, and thank you for being with us.
Good morning, Khalil. Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
Absolutely. And tell us a little bit about, I understand you have a program for Ramadan for youth, and then there is another program which is more of a business program, and then we're going to be talking about Ramadan a little bit for those who are not familiar with it, and also a message to the youth. So first, let's start talking about this particular program that you have for youth.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, thank you to you and to all your viewers for entertaining me, giving us this opportunity to share the work that we've been doing. The project is called Somewhere Back Home. We have a website, we have an Instagram page under the same name, somewherebackhome.com. Or for the Instagram, it's just Somewhere Back Home. And basically, growing up, we always have this idea that one day when you make it, you get to go back home, But this past year, or I should say the past 2 years, have really taken a toll on not just the Muslim community that is living in the diaspora, but generally a lot of people, anyone who shares values with humanity. Having witnessed not just what's going on in Gaza, not just what's going on in Lebanon, Yemen, Syria, everywhere else, but Ukraine, which people don't often speak about, This is, the wars that we've been seeing, the destruction that we've been witnessing. And then you kind of ask yourself the question, where's humanity going? What do we do from here? A lot of times, I'm not going to lie to you, Khalil, people's emotions tend to run high. Talks of civil war, talks of this, and to me, I'm listening to that through the lens of compassion, the lens of humanity, the lens of belonging, and I don't think that's the right way, because escalating violence doesn't resolve anything. We've seen that, So we sat down, just a group of us, average Joes, we're no one special. You can see I just work at a regular, point blank, it's just a regular gun shop. But it's not like we're people who have extensive support behind us, and we're just regular Joes, regular human beings, just like you and I and most of our listeners, who are just concerned for where is the world going. What kind of future are we leaving behind for our children and their children, and so on and so forth. So I'm not a pessimist. I'm optimistic in all the things that I do, and I feel like there's a lot of good in the world. It's just not getting the media attention. And I think the media attention is all on the negative stuff, which is why we feel that the world is doom and gloom. So thinking of the best way to address that issue, we decided to capitalize on the month of Ramadan. For those listeners who know, and those who don't, I'm just going to quickly elaborate. The month of Ramadan is basically a time where Muslims around the world observe fasting, where we abstain from food, water, bad language, being angry. These are all things. We're supposed to be a good human being at the very least, from sunrise till sunset. Of course, we're called by God to do this throughout the year, to be good humans, but in this month, it is like the absolute commandment. There's no negotiation on that. So it's enforced with a little bit more of that you need to be on best behavior for 30 days. So we were thinking, this is a time that we can capitalize on, since people are hungry and hangry, and people's tempers are through the roof, and throughout the day people get angry and everything else, and don't talk to me, I'm fasting, and we're very quick to lose our temper because sugar levels are low and we're hungry and everybody wants to talk to us, and we don't want to talk to no one except the person who's preparing our food. So it was really like it just fell in our lap, that once people actually have their food, once people break fast and they start to become a little bit more less hungry, the smiles come back, the laughter comes back, the good conversations come
then
back.
you can communicate. Yeah,
exactly. So what better way? And realistically, we actually even went, we looked in the Bible, we looked in the Torah, we looked in the Quran, we just looked in examples of those who led humanity towards a better place than we were going. For example, Jesus, when he preached, he fed people, fish and bread, and today we have communion that keeps that legacy alive, right? Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, same thing. When he first revived his community, it was a leg of lamb with some rice and bread, and again, just the same as the miracle of Jesus, it was able to feed everyone for 3 days. And I think we lose focus on the miracle. It's actually the work itself. What God wanted to show is that the food with Jesus, Muhammad, Moses, when they fed the people, it wasn't just a meal that lasted there and then. It had effects that continue to go on. And those legacies live on till today. So we wanted to capitalize on that. And we said, the best way to do it is to actually invite people to come and eat. However, we're also very conscious that when you just throw out a blanket statement and say, hey, we're serving free food, come and eat, people will come to eat, but they won't really do more. They won't know more, So we wanted it to be an engaged audience. We wanted it to actually serve purpose. And the way we wanted to do that is to utilize on food, Ramadan, fasting, human aspects of getting together, compassion, but also to benefit the future generation. Like I said, that one meal didn't just end with a one meal. It continued to serve the community. And hopefully this is the vision that we want, is that these meals actually continue to serve the community by building relationships, building communication, breaking down differences. We are welcoming Muslims, we are welcoming Christians, we're welcoming anyone and everyone. Just come and dine with us, see what food is about. This project is completely running on volunteers, completely running on goodwill from the community. We don't really have deep pockets, I should say. Like I said, we're just average people. We clock in, clock out, bills to pay. But we sincerely do believe that this is a good cause. And we believe that, and so far, the support has been overwhelming. We're in night 4 today. Today, we're actually, for any of the listeners listening in, I'm not sure if this is airing live or thereafter, but as of today, Tuesday, we're doing for the big 3, so anyone who works with Ford, GM, Chrysler, these big 3 in Dearborn, that's where we're based. We're welcoming them. And the reason being is, we want people to connect outside of work, people here in Dearborn. And we're hoping, the idea is that this is something that can be replicated in other communities, where people now no longer just communicate through Instagram and social media, but strangers become family, and family becomes a community, and community becomes the future. When we can break bread, we can break boundaries. When we can share food, we can also share knowledge. Our ethos is very simple. Gatekeeping is a sin. Do not gatekeep, because, no one's going to get out of this world with anything in their hands. So help your fellow humans while you're still able to share knowledge. And that's a huge push that we're going for. So the theme is basically we're bringing in, or at least we're asking professionals to come in, and we're also asking students to come in, both with their families. And the idea is, let's say, for example, if I'm a student trying to, decide whether I want to go into cardiovascular or I want to be an orthopedic, I may not have doctor friends in my circle. I don't know. Not everybody has the same friends as I do. So the idea is that if you're coming in on a doctor's night, which we had 2 nights ago, for the healthcare professionals, then you're going to get to network with someone in a career path that you have chosen, that you have dedicated yourself to.
Before we talk about networking, how many people have been participating?
We were hoping to honestly have around about 600 fed by now, but we're almost at half that number, in 4 nights, around about that number. So it's a good number.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of food. We actually we began by we had a venue that was for 250 people per night. We
Who's donating the food? Are you buying it or has it been donated?
um, everything's on community will. So we have people, donating here and there. Currently, we have a really really high debt. I stopped looking at the numbers just so I don't give myself a heart attack and kill myself before the 30 nights are over. But definitely, we do need support. I don't like to ask for people for support because I believe if people come in and show up and see the vision,
Sure.
they will want to be part of it.
What time is the food served?
So we
Iftar?
we open at iftar, which is around about Maghrib. For our non-Muslim friends, that typically tends to be around about 6:30 to 6:40 p.m. Is our start time. That's when food will begin to be served. As of this Sunday, I believe time is going to move forward 1 hour, if I'm not mistaken. So basically, we're going to move it from 6:30 to 7:30 after Sunday. So come next week, Monday, it will move forward 1 hour. The flow of the program is very simple. Again, it's a family reunion. We want to remind all human beings that, whether you believe in, whether you believe in the creation of life, that there is a God, then we all come from Adam and Eve. And whether you believe in, evolution, then we all come from one lady. That's what science tells us, right? So essentially, as human beings, we're all family. So we've called it the family reunion iftar. To help people kind of, see each other as family. That's why we put the name out there. But the flow is going to be very simple. You come in, food will be served immediately. You get to eat. People will be around to serve you, so you don't need to get up. It's like being invited to, aunts or grandmas, Thanksgiving, if you will, but for the whole 30 nights. After the food, we will have an informal discussion. Sometimes we go live on social media. Sometimes we don't, just because, we want to encourage people to actually come in and participate in person. But the idea is that basically that small discussion is there to encourage people to be able to talk, to give them direction. Networking will then take place over dessert. We have La Gelati, huge sponsor. We have Al Sayed Meat Market, who's providing us with all the meat. We have Big Red, who's cooking everything for us. Big Red is real Southern style hospitality. And we actually wanted, to celebrate both our American identity and our Muslim identity, which is why we went with brisket barbecue. Nothing says America like Southern hospitality, right?
Sure.
So we want Southern hospitality to meet Muslim generosity. And again, we want to emphasize that we as Muslims have a lot in common with the constitutional values of this country. We're not as alien as the media makes us seem to be. We have so much in common that it's crazy that we still don't see eye to eye. So, we're trying to really hit a lot of boxes in this 30 days.
Sure.
We may have, bitten off more than we can chew, but at the end of the day, we don't fear failure. We believe that somebody needs to get up and show people that,
How many people are working with you?
It really depends. I mean, on our first night, we had spectacular support. We had about 13 volunteers. Night 2, we were down to probably, I'll say, 4 volunteers. Yesterday, we probably had, I want to say, 6 or 7. Today, I don't know yet. I'm still
Day by day, day by day.
Cooking up. But at the same time, for your viewers, if they are interested, whether you want to support us by giving your time and resources, we welcome that. We've had people yesterday, someone, it's so heartwarming. I promise you, like, I'm a strong guy, but there's times when I just get really, really emotionally overwhelmed because, the most love we've received is from strangers, like absolute strangers who we don't even know. Yesterday, I just got a random phone call. Hey, I saw you guys on Instagram. I love what you're doing. I'm coming to drop tea and coffee. What else do you need? I said, I'm not there on site right now, but
our community is very generous.
Yeah, and it's someone who I don't even know. Like, even if I want to thank them right now, I honestly don't know. I just call them the tea person. They came, they dropped tea and coffee from Baho House, and they disappeared. They didn't wait for a thank you. They didn't shake hands with anyone. They just in and out. They
It's
don't want to be.
wonderful. Yeah. Where's the
And
location?
location is 6256 North Telegraph, on the corner of Telegraph and Huss, right by the McDonald's. You can't miss it.
Yeah, in
One block
Dearborn
down.
Heights, right?
Dearborn
Yeah.
Heights, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do have a website with all our information. The website is somewherebackhome.com. So that's the website where you will go. There you will find a link to RSVP. The link should say join us for iftar. And over there, it's your way of letting us know that, hey, I'm going to be coming down. This is how many friends I'm bringing along. That way we can actually have food there for you, and because we don't want to waste.
Yeah.
Right next to it, you can also sponsor the iftar. So if you want to help us financially, we welcome that. If you scroll further down the page, there will be another link under the About Us section where you can actually click to become a volunteer. So if you want to support by volunteering on any of the nights,
Sure.
we're always going to be here, hopefully. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see our different themed nights as well as our address under the contact us form. So if people forget where to find us, you can always find the information there. Alternatively, you can just follow us on Somewhere Back Home on the Instagram page, where we'll be posting each day to let folks know what we're doing for the day and how we're about to get started.
Are you inviting professionals as well? So when when attendees mingle with these, interact with these professionals, they can learn from them.
So as I said, the theme was that night by night we honor each different profession. So the idea is that if we welcome everyone, by the way. Like up until now, we've had more non-professionals show up than we've had professionals. But the idea, sorry, I don't know if I lost you there. I just had a call that come in. Yeah, we've had more non-professionals than we've had professionals. So again, we welcome everyone. However, our target audience, the people that I really, really, really want to connect with, are the professionals and the students. Because, in my line of work, I found that educated people are always easier to work with because they read. People that don't read are very hard to work with because they're stuck in a one thought process and there's no changing that. So if I can get to working with professionals, then I'm working with the qualified people to make the world a better place.
And this is basically aimed at youth.
It's aimed at youth, for the youth, by the youth. I mean, people see me. I'm the guy that's doing all the pulling the strings. But in all honesty, this whole project is youth.
Yeah.
The amount of volunteers that we have, they're all 18, 19, 20, 21. It gets frustrating dealing with these kids. But again, this is about giving back to community, and what better way to start giving back to community by actually showing these youth that care for the future, getting together, making this project happen. Again, the support has just been overwhelming. Sincerely, it's been very overwhelming. We have a long way to go. But at the end of the day, we sincerely believe this is a good cause, and we believe that it's time we start showcasing the goodness in the world. And
I love the idea is breaking bread, breaking barriers, and bringing people from different faith and different backgrounds and mingling together. I mean, this is the essence of Ramadan anyway, where people come together and get to know each other.
And we hope that we can achieve that.
Wonderful. Again, Ramadan is the month of fast, where we fast from dawn to dusk and abstaining from food and drink and water, that is. What's the main message of Ramadan on the spiritual level? Not necessarily. I mean, we know the food thing, but on the spiritual level.
I can't tell people what is the message, but I can share with you what I feel the message is for me, at least personally. The month of Ramadan for me is that time of year where you prove to yourself that you don't need anyone, you don't need anything. You don't need food, you don't need water. You can actually go without, you can endure. You don't need to listen to music. You don't need to use bad language. You don't need to get angry. You don't. Now, I say you don't need to, but we as humans tend to, even
Sure,
during the
sure.
month of Ramadan, no one's perfect. We all fail.
Yeah.
Just today, I really can't count the number of times I've shouted my head off. Sometimes just at myself, like, you idiot,
Yeah.
But it happens, and it's a constant reminder. God made it 30 days, not one day, because he knew we were going to fail on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5.
Takes 20 days to break a bad habit. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the idea is, for me personally, and that's a beautiful little secret there that you just mentioned. The nights of power only begin on the 20th night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the 19th, the night of the 19th.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like God saying to you, change your habits first, then come talk to me.
Exactly.
So during this holy month, it is really about getting to know yourself, getting to know your limits, getting to know what are your buttons and how quickly they can
How
be
you can
pushed.
change. Yeah.
Okay. And then to reflect inwards, reflect inwards and actually see that you can make change. Now, I'll be honest with you. If most of my family were listening to me right now, they'll probably think, what a hypocrite, right? Because I have a lot to change. Now, knowing something and actually...
We all do.
Knowing it and implementing it are two different things.
Yeah.
And the reason why I mentioned that is I get a lot of people that say, I don't want to be a hypocrite because I'm trying and I'm failing. And I always say to those people, when you went to the gym, you've tried and you failed, and you tried and you failed, and you tried and you failed, and you got injured, and you took 2 weeks off, and then you said it wasn't for you. Then you came back. At some point, you succeeded. So don't give up on yourself. It's not about being hypocrite. It's about being honest and sincere. Tell yourself that I'm just trying, and trying means I can fail.
Yeah.
So be ready for that failure.
Absolutely.
Don't give up on yourself, because that's when the devil wins.
Sounds like a really great program. Give us the info one more time. How can people reach you, and how can they support you?
So you can go on to somewherebackhome.com. And on that website, as you scroll, you'll see some links that will tell you what you can do and how you can get involved, whether it's attending and eating with us, or sponsoring us, or becoming a volunteer. At the very bottom of the page under the contact us will be our address, but just in case you don't find it there, it's 6256 Telegraph and Huss. So the corner of Telegraph and Huss. Yeah. And again, we start with sunset. So whether that's 6:30 this week or 7:30 next week, that is typically our start time at sunset. Program is scheduled to run for 2 hours and a half. However, because it's a networking event, the building will remain open to all until midnight. So if people leave before midnight, we shut down the shop. If people want to stay till midnight, we're not kicking nobody out. If you get to benefit and you get to have real meaningful conversations that can help you get a better job, do better in school, make more money in life, become more successful, so that you can become a more competent human being that is able to help his fellow human beings, that's exactly what we're trying to achieve.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us on the show.
Okay. Take care. Now we're going to take a short break. Please stay tuned.
Michigan's winter forecast is snow, snow, and more snow. And for a little variety, ice. Since that means slippery roads, stay safe by following these driving tips. Don't use cruise control on ice and snow. Use turn signals sooner to give others more time to react. Keep your car's fluids, tires, and wipers well maintained. And most important of all, drive slow on ice and snow. A message from the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning.
Ziyad brand. Quality products from our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Dana, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
Are you going to start a restaurant or a grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Naji Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Najee Abood now, 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design, new location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Najee Abood, 734-744-9796.
As the weather gets colder, it's a good idea to layer up with scarves, hats, and mittens. Another layer of protection this season is to get your flu and COVID-19 vaccines. You can get both vaccines at the same time. Talk to your healthcare provider or learn more at michigan.gov/COVID-flu-RSV and layer up for some added peace of mind. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back and thank you for being with us. I would like to thank Dr. Shama for being with us earlier, talking about IVF, and also Hussein Nashid for talking about his wonderful program for youth. And I like to add that every night is a different theme, legal theme. Yesterday it was a legal night where they brought in police officers and lawyers and community activists to talk to youth. It's a very interesting program. If you like to support it and or participate in it, it's really worth it. And now I just like to bring to your attention before we end that most of you last week or this week rather, received in the mail property assessment from the city and or the township, wherever you live. This is a very important document if you own property, and what it does is it shows you, it shows you where is the assessment of your property and what the taxes are. And I just want to help you read it a little bit, and it's very important. Let me see if I can share a screen with you so I can show you the document. And if I can't do that, then I'll just explain it to you. On that document, it's one page. On the top of the document, it would say this is not a tax bill, and then it would include the city, where it came from. On one side, on the other side, it's your address. Make sure it is yours and it's your address. It's very important that it is yours. And then it would show under that, your name, your address, and another box. And then right next to it, it will show exemption. So if you live in your home and this is your homestead, your exemption should be 100%. If it's not, you need to talk to the city. They're charging you too much taxes. So if you don't live in it, it should be 0 because it's a commercial property. This is why it is, it is like that. So, and after that, then it just shows a little bit of information, a couple of small boxes, and then the main box is where it says taxable value. And this is the one you need to pay attention to. Under it says assessed value. This is what the city thinks your house is worth. It's different than market value. Market value is a little bit higher than that, but taxable value is where the city bases its information on that to assess your taxes. And here it shows, like on mine, it shows that my taxable value has gone up, and it's gone up by about 1,436. This is how much my taxable value has gone up. So, and then you figure it, you figure that out, 1,436. You multiply it by the multiplier, which is the the city's multiplier that the city uses. You can call the city, they tell you what the multiplier is, and you can figure out how much your taxes really are. And how much is going to be more. In my case, it'll be about 100 and something, because if you multiply 1,436 times 51, this is and then you divide it by 1,000, that gives you how much really your increase is, or decrease in some cases. So this is how you figure it out. Do you have any questions? Give me a call. It's a very simple document, but it's a very important document. At the bottom of the document, it shows you the dates where you can contest that. If you feel like, this is not correct, this is not right, I really need, I need to evaluate this. You can go to the city and contest it. You have to sign in first, and then call the city and say, I want to be on the schedule. They schedule your time, you appear in front of the board. The board would have, from the assessment department, somebody from the community, someone who's familiar with the property, and then you can discuss it with them, and you talk to them about it. And in some cases it works, in some cases it does not. And if the city says no, you have a right to appeal to the tax tribunal in Lansing. It's free. You can do it online. It's very simple. I've done it before. In 2012, I've done it. I went to the city and I said, your assessment is too high. Homes are, if you recall, in 2012, the property value was not that good. And I said, homes are selling for a lot less in my neighborhood. I showed them the numbers. The city said no. So I went ahead and appealed to the tax tribunal, and I sent all the supporting documents showing what's been sold in my neighborhood. It's a lot less than what my house has been appraised for. Assessed for, not appraised, assessed for. And the tax tribunal agreed with me. And once the tax tribunal agreed with me, the city said, okay, we'll work with you. And I worked to deal with them. So one thing to keep in mind, if you've been in your house for some time now, the increase should be minimum, a few $100s, depending on the value of your home. If you just bought your home and this is the first year, the taxes are gonna jump, sometimes double, and this is called uncapped. Uncapped in taxes for those who have done some improvement in the house, like a large improvement, and or exchanged hands, meaning that they bought the home new, their taxes are gonna go up, sometimes maybe double, maybe triple. So hopefully before you bought the home, your realtor sat you down and explained to you what your uncapped taxes are going to be. But if it didn't, don't be surprised. Then you really need to evaluate, and you work with somebody who would help you understand what the value is, and whether the city is over assessing you or not. So this is something very important you need to pay attention to. If you just bought your home about a year ago, and the city is going to and they do it all the time. This is not against you personally. Everybody is like that. When a property exchanges hands, the value goes up, and taxable value goes up, and your taxes are gonna go up. And I hope that you did your homework before you bought your home. And if you didn't, then you have to really account for that. Sometimes, some people have been living in their homes for 30 years, their taxes about $2,000. They go ahead and sell their home, and now the new taxes are $12,000. So that's a jump of over $8,000. It's important that you know what you're doing. You have any questions, give me a call, 313-819-0101, 313-819-0101. Thank you for listening, and we appreciate it. If you have any other questions in regard to real estate, if you're looking to purchase a cement plant, we have one. It's not on the market, but we have one that's coming up soon. It's one of those plants for small loads. It's a great big family business. They've been in the business for 50 years. They want to retire. If you're looking to buy something like that, let me know. It's a good price. It's a good operation, and they work 8 months out of the year, and they're off for 4 months. You can work year round, but doing other stuff, but this is what they do, and they're happy like that, but they want to retire. So give me a call, 313-819-0101. You have any other questions in regard to your property, commercial or residential, give me a call again, 313-819-0101. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate your time, and wish you a wonderful weekend.